Okay, so just wanted to do a quick demo of where I'm up to with OpenSystems. eBay has decided it wants to relist the item itself, so I'm taking that as an auspicious sign. I'm going to show you guys where I'm up to. So this is the box I've got so far. Can't really see it. Let's get some light on it. Sure. It's basically based on the original Pokemon box, but I'm just going to open that up for you. So inside of it, you'll find a cable and you'll find a hard drive. So what is this hard drive? It's a solid state drive. So we're going to connect the cable and we're going to plug it into our laptop here, which is already booted into our main OS, but we don't need to worry about that, so we'll just leave that hanging there. All I need to do, I'm going to turn this off. You can see we're in a different operating system here. I'm going to turn this off. Let that power down. And we'll start from scratch. So from a shutdown state, I'm going to turn it back on. Hold the key to take you into your BIOS menu. It's different for every computer, and every BIOS menu is different. You need to look it up. And what that should let us do is boot into this solid state drive. And contained on it is a version of Ubuntu called Ubuntu Budgie. And what this is just this a very easy to use version of Linux for people that have never used Linux before. It has a lot of features that are like Mac, like Windows, has a lot of compatibility between the two. And it's just a lot less intimidating than some other Linux distros where you have to do a lot for yourself. And here we are, inside the new operating system. So, as you can see, it's different. And what we've tried to do with OpenSystems is load this up with a lot of tools that people will need to manage their business, but also try out some advanced technologies. So, for example, we have things like LM Studio that allows you to run large language models. So you'll see a window open up here. And in this, you can see I've already been chatting to it about the action plan for the UK space industry. But I can load a model into RAM and run this large language model or AI completely locally on my device. Meaning I don't need to connect to ChatGPT, I don't need to connect to DeepSeek, I don't need to connect to any third party, and everything that I type into this I own. So I can type in hello chat, and the assistant will start generating. And this is all on the GPU and the CPU of this laptop. So it does take a little bit longer, and you will have to wait. That is just the nature of having to run things yourself. But if you can afford the patience, what you gain is your privacy and ability to protect your own IP. So we'll leave that generating for now. There's a couple of other things. We've loaded it up with software like Blender, Firefox. GNU image manipulation program is a version of Photoshop. Inkscape is more like Illustrator. There's all of the LibreOffice softwares like Word alternatives, PowerPoint alternatives, OBS Studio if you want to record your screen. But some other fun things that are more towards the space industry, like GMAT. So GMAT is a piece of software that NASA uses for simulating orbital mechanics. So I can just choose any one of these scripts and play it. And it'll give us an idea of all these different views of orbits and orbital calculations and different orbital transfers. So you can begin to see where the Open Spaceplane project comes into this. And we want to develop this operating system into something that can run the spaceplane that we're developing. But in the meantime, if we can provide something useful for people that want to move into open source, within the space industry, within AI, we've also loaded this up with libraries like Monado, that is a OpenXR runtime for doing virtual reality, all towards this idea of doing heads-up display, AI providing contextually relevant data, and serving up information while we travel around in space. So, yeah, I mean, that's just a quick demo of what we've got on here. There's loads more that we've been developing. Let's see how our large language model's been getting on. Well, you can see it does generate. You just need to have a little play around with it. We'll load it up with some models that you can run. This is one from News Research. They loaded it up with a load of esoteric knowledge and call it Hermes 3. But there are versions of DeepSeek that have been distilled down into quite small things that have been fine-tuned on medical knowledge, on legal knowledge. So you can have these kind of assistants embedded on your laptop that you control. You don't have to hand over control to big tech anymore. And that's ultimately the aim of this whole thing, is to start liberating people from big tech, showing them that there is an alternative. But at the end of the day, what they can do is, when they shut this down, all they need to do is unplug the solid state hard drive. So I'm just going to unplug that now. You can see that. I turn that on again. And we're back in our original operating system. So it's a completely non-destructive way of testing new software, testing new all kinds of things. So that's the ethos behind the whole thing. We're thinking about how you can containerize operating systems for specific purposes. We also want to look at data shards for particularly big files to extend these as well. And there's a lot of theory about this I could go into, about ways of managing encryption and secure booting, but I don't think that's really relevant to what we're talking about right now. I hope this has been an interesting demo, and I'll speak to you next time. If you want to bid on this, this is currently for sale on eBay, as I was saying before. I'll leave a link in the video description. Hope you have a wonderful weekend.